The car came to a sudden halt outside the main gate. Joe Grant looked up at the gloomy bulk of the huge old building and shuddered. "It looks like Dracula's castle." The doctor swung his long legs over the side of the car. "Well, you're right about the castle bit, anyway. It used to be a fortress in the Middle Ages." He jabbed the thumb at the old-fashioned bell push. Joe jumped out of the car. "Doctor, you'll need these. You'd better keep yours on you." She handed him a couple of security passes. Despite his new status as a member of a top-secret organisation, the doctor hated carrying passes, papers and identification permits, and usually left that side of things to Joe. She sometimes thought that a large part of her job was to stop the doctor from getting arrested for poking his nose into places where he had no official business. "Thanks, Joe," said the doctor resignedly. Glancing keenly about him, he saw the incongruous shape of a remote-control TV camera fixed to the old stone walls above the massive door. "Smile, Joe!" "What?" The doctor pointed upwards. "You're on camera!" Gazing up at the lens, the doctor bowed, waved, and smiled. In the security room just inside the prison, an amazed guard stared at the extraordinary figure on his monitor screen. Flicking a switch, he dispatched the gate guard to see what was going on. The doctor was still waving and smiling when the door swung open to reveal a prison officer staring impassively at him. The doctor smiled a little sheepishly. "Oh, good morning. Observers from unit." He proffered the passes. The prison officer took them, studied them, looked hard at the doctor and Joe, and then up at the camera. "Right, passes checked and satisfactory. Open the gates." He handed back the passes. The gates swung open, and the doctor and Joe got back into Bessie and drove along a ring road, through a second checkpoint, and on into the inner courtyard of Stangmore Prison. Joe couldn't help shuddering as they went into the main prison building, and the metal doors clanged shut behind them. There was something horrifying about the grim old prison. She was very glad she was only there on a visit. In the main prison area, the din was appalling now. Senior Prison Officer Powers, a burly, craggy-faced man, strode grimly along the echoing corridors to where a group of his colleagues stood waiting. "All right, Mr. Green, let's get them quieted down. The governor's on his way." Green and the others moved along the corridors, hammering on cell doors, ordering the prisoners to stop the noise. They had very little effect. 3 men came striding along the corridor of the special wing. In the lead was Victor Camford, the prison governor, a massive, heavy-featured man with dark hair and bushy eyebrows. Beside him was the elegant, dark-suited figure of Professor Kettering, looking as if he was about to attend an appointment at his Harley Street consulting rooms. The third man wore a white coat, thinning hair, and a permanently worried expression. This was Roland Summers, the prison doctor. The banging and shouting seemed to follow them along the corridor. Kettering winced and glanced irritably at Dr. Summers. "Why do they have to make that dreadful row?" "Tradition, Professor Kettering, always happens when sentence is about to be carried out." By now the little party had reached the door of the cell at the end of the corridor. Powers produced his keys, unlocked the door, and stood back so that the governor and his companions could go inside. The cell was larger than most, light and airy. It was better furnished, too, with a proper bed, a table, and some reasonably comfortable chairs. A man lay motionless on the bed, staring up at the ceiling. A massive brute of a man, with a low, bulging forehead, protruding jaw, and huge, powerful hands. Those hands had once choked the life out of a security guard who had been unwise enough to disturb Barnum while he was blowing a safe.